What is going on, good people? Welcome into the greatest show in America. Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I am Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
And I'm Brandon Bossert. We're back in action on this Friday night, Trey.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome on into another episode of DSI. We've got another interesting show for you folks out there. First order of business, Brandon, is something different from the last time you and I were here.
Yeah, very different.
We started last week's show unsure if Major League Baseball would be coming back this year. Now we know for sure, as the owners and the players have agreed on a resolution. The season will be 60 games with a couple of different rules this time around.
Trey, what do you think about 60 games for baseball? We're used to a 162-game schedule, and now we're going to see 60 games?
Yeah, I think the Orioles are going to struggle for 15 wins this year. It's something you don't hear all the time.
Wow, Trey, I didn't expect that out of you, but for the first time ever, there will be a designated hitter in the National League. It's only been in the American League since the 1970s, and now the National League will have it this year. Another new wrinkle when the game goes to extras. Each inning, after the ninth inning, will begin with a runner on second base. So these are two big rule changes that are going against baseball purists like myself.
Yes, like you.
What do you think about the National League adopting the designated hitter along with this new rule of having the runner at second base to start each inning in the
Brandon, I'd be very interested to hear your take on this because you are, in fact, a baseball purist. I think it's okay. I think the game, they are striving to be a little bit more exciting, especially with the runner on second base, and that's a rule that we've seen handed down from the minor leagues. And it gets games over quicker. And, you know, younger crowds may like quicker games.
How many times do you see people yawning in the stands when it's like the 17th inning?
Yeah, I honestly, though, I'm glad they got this done. I mean, how ridiculous would it have been if Major League Baseball would have been the only of the core four not to win or not to get a restart going? That would have been really horrible. I do wish that it could have come on the 4th of July, but the fact that it's happening, I'm okay with.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've seen attendance dropping in Major League Baseball across the entire sport. So this is something that had to get done, especially with the NBA and MLS coming back. So on paper as of right now, we do have baseball, but that doesn't mean we're not out of the woods yet. I mean, we have seen a number of players from multiple teams testing positive for the coronavirus, over 40 players over the last week testing positive, and we're asking players to report within a week. And we've just seen training facilities closed around baseball. So I really wonder how well they're going to be able to play the 60-game schedule with COVID-19 positives coming up, you know, around the game. So,
yeah, well, I mean, you make a very good point. We talked about the Phillies earlier this week. They had players and officials test positive for COVID to the fact that they had to shut down their spring training facility. How are guys going to train if no one can be in the facility, right? Of course,
exactly.
All of that's going to get figured out. We are glad that Major League Baseball has at least done their part, the owners and the players come together. Now, we also had some live baseball in the area this week as well. Two of the top travel teams in the area in an exhibition at Fruitland Little League. We had the Mid-Atlantic Shockers out of Berlin and the Water Dogs from West Salisbury. Brandon, very interesting. I don't see a lot of
Not a single mask, Trey.
We'll let the people live, right? Of course. Connor Bratton on the mound. He's going to drop in a curve to get out the first inning jam. Mason Edelman was dealing as well on the mound for the Shockers. Watch as he makes quick work of the Water Dogs. He's going to strike out the side. Keep an eye on that guy. We'll hear from Edelman a little bit later on.
That's right. Pretty impressive performance right there from him on the mound. Now here's Blake Bramble from North Dorchester Middle sending a rocket to deep center field right here, and it's going to fly past the bushes in center, number 19, supplying big power. But the Water Dogs made this a fight early on. Here's Connor Bratton sending one over the fence, and that's a 3-run bomb. But this game belonged to the Mid-Atlantic Shockers. They take this one 15-3. And here's Bramble on those 2 homers that he hit in the game.
It looked like more of a fastball or a changeup. I couldn't really tell, but they went pretty far.
Friday we play at Sports at the Beach in Georgetown, 3-day tournament. Some really, really good teams in there. 3-day tournament, they're always challenging, but yes, we're ready.
Man, you gotta miss the kids of summer, right? Hey, look.
Hey, Bramble's ready.
It went pretty far.
It
so
went
I
pretty
don't care
far.
what
That's
it
my
was.
favorite quote of the year
Yeah,
so far.
Exactly. Pretty awesome showing by those kids. We want to keep the baseball theme going tonight, if you will, Brandon, with a really special CEO for our insider interview.
That's right, Trey. Taylor Duncan created the Alternative Baseball Organization for teens and adults with special needs, and he's looking to expand his league to Delmarva. Take a look.
I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum at the age of 4, where I faced speech issues, sensory issues, and anxiety issues growing up. But my mother helped me through a lot of these obstacles. But despite all of her help and the help of some of my other teachers and mentors through the years, I still faced a lot of social stigma from those who had perceptions of what one with autism can and cannot accomplish. And because of that, I was often knocked out of opportunities to play traditional baseball when I was much younger. But I did have some positive experiences growing up too through the game. And at the age of 20 in January 2016, I decided it was time for me to provide this authentic baseball experience for others just like myself who are 15 years of age and older with autism and other disabilities, for physical and social skills enrichment for life on and off the baseball diamond. We want to give as many the positive experience on playing on a traditional team as possible, because in a lot of areas we've seen when we started expanding, and this really does bother me a lot, is that in a lot of areas after those, like myself, graduate out of high school, then there's almost nothing for them in those areas. In a lot of areas, there's nothing at all. And they need something, that solution, to help them guide their way into adulthood and continue their path toward independence. Because there are those that are out there that have probably given up on the idea of having something in their local community because they have to travel to Baltimore, they have to travel to DC for something that may or may not fit their direct needs or wants. Getting to see our players flourish and thrive both on and off the baseball diamond. Man, it's just been a fantastic experience watching through the years our players learn and grow through the game of baseball, not just their physical skills, not just their baseball skills, but through the simplest of plays, such as catching balls in the outfield or making quick putouts at first base. They're learning how to communicate with their teammates. They're learning how to work together as a team. If you're going to be successful in employment, you have to be able to work with others as a team. And that's what they're doing. Sports in general have a fun way of teaching us how to adapt to various situations, because that's what we're going to do in real life as well, because we go through hot streaks, we go through cold streaks, just like we do in the our day-to-day lives and in the game of baseball, America's pastime.
Trey, that's my favorite interview that you've done so far.
Yes.
So great to hear from Taylor, and he had some great points in there. Really reminds me of the unified football that we cover sometimes here on Delmarva.
Yep, exactly right.
And Taylor says the league is always looking for volunteers, players, and coaches to join, and he's super excited about expanding to the Delmarva area.
Yeah, and we are excited to have him. The story in its entirety will be on tomorrow's 6 p.m. newscast. For more information about the league, or if you want to join, visit alternativebaseball.org. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're taking a look at one of the up-and-coming pitchers in the Bayside North. Keep it here. You're watching the Delmarva Sports Insider.
I'm Nick Newton from St. Michael's High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.